home training. We're going to get started with this yoga mindful movement practice on our back. So join me. Blocks would be helpful, easy to purchase, usually less than $10 on Amazon. And you might even want to have a strap, a towel, a tie. I'm not quite sure that we're going to use it today, but just good to have for your own home gym and studio. So find a way to your mat, feet flat, knees bent, and rest with those knees bent. Arms can be at your sides. Visualize the length of your spine from the crown of the head to the tailbone. We want to promote length and lift in all of our movements. Place the hands around the navel and one hand even below that center. So you're at your low abdominals and the lowest of low abdominals. And tune into your breath here. As you inhale, you should feel the rise of the belly. As you exhale, you feel the belly sink. This diaphragmatic breathing is one of the best ways to soothe your body, to calm your central nervous system, to bring you to a place of focus and awareness. So never underestimate the power of the breathing to change and to shift your outlook, so to speak, here on the Sunday shift. Also become aware of that ribcage expansion. As you breathe deep into the belly, you'll notice that your ribcage expands wide to the sides. And you're even breathing into the back body. So it's a three-dimensional breath. And each exhale just keeps sinking those low belly muscles. We'll pair the movement with breath. So arms can rest at your sides. And as you inhale, find an anterior tilt, an arch of the pelvis. And as you exhale, draw the belly in deep and find a little roundness of the pelvis. And let's work through those positions, inhaling into that arch and exhaling into that tuck. Couple more times at your own breath, your own rhythm. Start to tune in to the rolling of the bones of the pelvis as they move in both directions. And this over time will help to release tightness in the low back. As we can free up the pelvis motions, the muscles, the attachments to them a bit, we start to move from a deeper place from our center. And return to the middle, so you're neutral in the pelvis. Draw the right knee into your chest, hands behind your right thigh, and press and release a few times, that thigh into your hands. Press and release. Little isometric contraction. Pause on the press. Extend and bend a few times. Start tapping into your hamstring. Inhale as you extend the leg and exhale as you bend. Inhale to extend and exhale, bend. One more time, extend the leg, pause with the leg lifted, flex and point your foot a few times. Get into the muscles of the feet, maybe circle the ankle around a couple times. Keep the leg extended, press the arms into the earth here, and start to reach that right leg away from you. Just reach it long across the room. Pick up your right arm, reach it back, and appreciate the length that exists now between that right wrist and your right ankle. Return the leg back up, return the arm to the ground, and now extend the left leg out. As much as you can, press your left heel, your left hamstring into the mat. Both arms this time, lift them up to the sky. And as you inhale, reach that leg long and away, arms go back overhead. And then exhale, lift yourself back up to the center. 2 more times. Inhale, reaching away. Exhale, return to your start. Inhale, reach away. Let that right leg just rest on the ground. Pause here with the arms overhead. Reach your heels away. Reach those fingertips long. Big breath. And then return the arms at your sides. Bend the knees. Left knee over your hip. Hands behind your thigh. Do a couple of press and releases here. So just generating energy. Starting to notice, how does that pressing out relate to your deep core muscles? Can you pair it with your breath? Exhale, sink. Inhale, press away. Exhale, sink. And then take the leg into some knee extension patterns here. Reaching the heel to the sky, tapping into that back of the leg a few times. Holding that left leg lifted, point and flex your foot. See if you can circle the ankle, maybe separate your toes. Great. Rest the arms down at your sides. Reach the left leg long and away, slowly lowering it to the mat. Pick up the left arm, carry it in the opposite direction. And just come into an awareness of the length here. From the ankle through the wrist. Return the leg back up. Rest the arm down. And now slide your right heel out on the mat. So right heel reaching away, left heel energy up to the ceiling. And again, the arms will pick up and we'll lower the leg, arms reaching back behind us for 3. And lift the leg up. And reach away, lengthen from the head through the tail. So it's not just the fingers and the toes reaching away. See if you can create length through the sides of your body. Last time here, reach the leg long, fingertips come back behind you. And one more time, pause here, appreciate your center. Nice breath in. Return the arms back home. And then bring those feet flat. Knees bent. I would say pick up a block here. Let's use it for the second portion of our warm-up. Just right between the upper inner thighs. Pressing into that block. Pressing the arms down. Start a little curl of your tailbone and find a bridge here. Shoulders anchored down. Inner thighs pressing together, belly pulling in and up. And roll back through your spine all the way down. Good. One more time here. Nice breath in. Lifting the hips. You can let your rib cage soften here. So the primary movement of the lift is coming more from the glutes than any type of arch of the back. And lower yourself back through to your starting position. All right, one more little pelvis movement here. Place your hands right on top of the hip points, these ASIS points, and you'll notice you can gently rock one to the ceiling. The opposite hip sinks down. Rocking it towards the ceiling, opposite hip sinks down. So we can create a rotation movement of the pelvis. This rotation movement leads to rolling. So if I pick up my right hip, my left hip goes heavy, and I could start to allow my legs, I'll pick up my right foot to sway to the left side. I'm going to then use my pelvis to draw my hips back to the center, and then pick up the left hip. Let it initiate a rotation or a rolling of the hips and knees. And then use that left pelvis to bring yourself back to the center. One more time, pick up the right hip. You can keep the right foot on the ground, or you can bring it with you, picking it up from the floor. What we're really looking to consider here is the movement of the pelvis, then bringing the legs back to the center. One more time on the left. The pelvis begins to rotate. The hips and knees follow. And And then the pelvis starts to return and the hips and knees follow us back to the middle. Good. Hug those knees into your chest. Just give yourself a little stretch here. And however's best for you, taking the block away, bring yourself up to sitting. And let's move to a 4-point position. So hands and knees, hands under shoulders, knees under your hips. Separate those fingers. Find your breath here in 4-point. On the inhale, pull your heart forward, pull the collarbones forward, a little bit of an arch of the back. And on the exhale, curl the tailbone, curl the mid-back, the shoulder blade to crown of head. And again, inhale into your extension. And exhale into flexion. Moving slowly so that your body can start to integrate the breath with the movement, with little changes that happen from awareness. Good. Exhale and curl. And on the exhale and curl, allow the hips to sink back to your heels. We'll take a moving cat-cow. On the inhale, pull your heart forward, pull the gaze forward, and then exhale, curl your tailbone, sit yourself back to those hips. 2 more times. Inhale, pull your heart forward. And exhale, lift hips back to the heels. 1 more time. Inhale, pull your heart forward. Exhale, lift the belly. Sit the hips back towards the heels. Come up to your fingertips in a little bit more active child's pose. Take a couple of breaths here. Return the palms flat to the mat. Curl your toes under and visit with your down dog. So the first down dog here, lifting the hips up towards the sky, adjusting the feet as you need to. Take any little movements, little walking the dog might feel good to you here. You're driving the ground through those strong arms away. Arms are hugging in close to the ears. Your tailbone's spinning up. And that might mean you have a little softness to the knees. Lift your heels and start to tiptoe. Start to walk yourself forward to the front edge of your mat, where we arrive together in a forward fold. Shake out the head of any tension. And then from the ground, inhale, lift yourself up. Exhale, hands to heart center. All right, let's just start the first half of a sun salutation. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, bend the knees, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, working into this lengthening from the head to tail again. Take a little bend into the knees and then straighten. And again, a little pumping action of the legs. Bending and straightening. 1 more time here, bend. This time, as you straighten, lift the arms up and find your chair pose. So here in chair, we want to find a little bit of an arc to our lumbar spine. We're still drawing the abdominals in, reaching the heart forward, and maybe a subtle arc of that upper back as well. Let's add some motion to this. Inhale, sweep the arms back behind. As you exhale, stand yourself back up. And again, inhale, sinking into that chair. Exhale, driving yourself up. A few more times here. Take it at your own pace. Priming the legs for some work. 1 more time. And lift. Good. And then meet me back in that chair shape. Bring the hands down towards the earth. Step back to your plank. So wrists and shoulders lined up. Abdominals pulling in. And check in with your plank here. Sometimes it's tempting to do more of a pike, sometimes more of a sag. See if you can find that neutral pelvis, lengthening spine, strong core engagement. Drop the knees. And we'll lower down to our belly. So bending those elbows, bringing your chest to the mat. Warming up extension here with a mini cobra. Feel the pelvis press into the mat as you inhale, lift the chest. And exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. And exhale down. One more time, lift, pause in that lift. Again, feel a little arc of that upper back. The gaze is slightly forward. Pelvis is pressing into the earth. Return yourself down, curl your toes under, lift up and press back to your down dog. 3 deep breaths here. Lift those heels, bend the knees, either walk forward or take a giant step forward, or you can even hop forward. Find your way to that halfway lift again. Exhale to your forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up and find chair. Sitting the weight back through the hips, back through the heels. Cactus arms. Inhale, bend the elbows. Exhale, reach them up. Inhale to bend. And exhale up. One more time. Nice wide elbows. Pause there. Elbows slightly forward. Feel the lift of the breastbone. Good. And then fold forward into that little forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold from the ground up. Root to rise. Sweep the arms overhead. And bring them back to your heart center. Good. Let's do a couple of full sun salutations. Sun A's. Feel strong through the feet, separate those toes. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank. Drop the knees, bend the elbows, lower down to the ground, and inhale into your cobra. Exhale, lower, curl your toes under, press back to your down dog. One more deep breath here in down dog. Then lift your heels, bend the knees, look forward, step to the front edge. Find your way to that half lift. Exhale into your forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart. One more time, Sun A. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank. Now you have the option, right, more advanced yogis, of moving from chaturanga into your up dog. So rather than going too low here, pulling the breastbone forward, inhale towards kind of just that hover chaturanga, and then exhale, float into your up dog, or just go to cobra, and then exhale, meet me back in your down dog. Should be feeling a little warmth at this point. Notice those feelings, notice the emotions, how they change with movement, with breath. Lift the heels and bend the knees. Step forward, find that halfway lift again. Exhale into the forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up, find the extension, and exhale, hands to heart center. Our first standing series. Have your blocks handy. And we'll start with that chair shape again. So sitting the hips back, little arc to the back, cactus arms to the sides. Hold here, 2 more nice deep breaths. Good. Bring the hands to the earth or to the block. Step your left foot back into lunge. Pull the heart forward. As you exhale, straighten the front leg, press the right hip back. Inhale, heart pulls forward. Exhale, straighten the leg, right hip pulls back, left leg stays where it's at. One more time, inhale, pull the heart forward. Exhale, press back, pause here. Be in the shape. Head reaching towards the shin, towards the foot. We'll return to the lunge and drop the back knee down to the mat. Bring your hands alongside your front foot. We're taking a very small movement here. Kind of builds on that little pelvis rotation we did on our back. Take a lateral glide of the pelvis. So we're gently shifting the hips side to side, but it's really the pelvis like an old-fashioned typewriter carriage moving side to side. It's a small movement. I'm using my right arm to kind of brace my right thigh, so there's not a lot of leg motion here. And then returning to the center, float both arms up and find your 90-90 lunge. So front hip and knee, back hip and knee, position there in a pretty stable, balanced posture. Take hold of your left wrist, lift and lengthen, find a side bend. Inhale back to the center. One more time, lift and lengthen, find that lateral stretch, side bending. Good, and back to the center. Folding over that front foot, find your plank. And then let's switch it out. So bring that left foot forward. Left foot forward, right leg is back into this long, low lunge. Inhaling forward as you exhale, press through that front leg. Inhale, pull your heart forward. Exhale, press it back. One more time. Inhale, heart pulls forward, lunging forward. Exhale, press it back. Pause here. Make any little micro adjustments that you need. Pause in the stretch. Feel the left hip drawing back, right hip slightly forward. And then release back into that lunge position. Drop the right knee down. Here's our lateral glides of the pelvis. Just feel like you're doing a little shimmy of the hips side to side, but the movement is initiated more through the pelvis than any heavy movement from the hips. And again, find your center, float the arms up, and be here in your 90-90 lunge. We'll take hold of the right wrist, lift and lengthen into that side bend. Inhale it back up, one more time. Lift and side bend. And bring it back to the center. Great. Frame that front foot. Find your plank shape again. Take a vinyasa if you like, down to chaturanga to up dog. Otherwise, meet me in down dog. Adjust the feet, let the head be heavy, hips are high. Lift the heels, bend the knees, look forward, step, jump or walk, front edge of the mat, find that halfway lift again. You feel a little arc in that upper back. Exhale, forward fold. Hands could be behind your calves here, a little deeper forward fold. And strength of the legs brings you up. Inhale the arms up overhead. And exhale the hands to heart center. Great. Let's take a little pause and focus a bit on balance. We'll shift the weight in towards the left foot. In order to pick up the right, could be you're picking up your left at home if you're mirroring me. That's fine. We're going to do both sides. Find that balance. Notice as you pick up the leg, have you fallen heavily into the opposite side? Can you maintain a sense of lift of energy there? What's it like to extend the leg out, to reach through your heel? Could you add the arms to the mix? Let's find cactus arms. Elbows slightly forward, breastbone is lifted, belly pulling back. 3 deep breaths. Can you still expand through your ribs? Can you still deepen the abdominals even as you focus here on balance? Great. Rest that side back down. Give it a little shake. Hands to the hips, shifting the weight opposite side, picking up the knee. This is always a little weaker side for me. My right hip definitely wants to sway laterally. I've got to try to use those deep core connections to lift and support. Then when you're ready, add to that, reach through the heel. Keep reaching through the crown of the head. Bring the arms up one more time. Just find those cactus arms. Elbows pivot slightly forward, crown of the head lifting. Right? You may move in and out of it like I just did. Good. And then rest it all back down. All right, let's do a set of our standing series. So returning to that front edge of your mat. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, bend the knees. Bring the hands down to the block. We'll take the left leg back into lunge. This time, high lunge. Sweep the arms up. On the inhale, hinge your torso forward. And then exhale, pick yourself back up. And again, inhale forward. And exhale, pick it up. One more time, inhale, keep reaching through that back heel even as you pitch forward. And lift it back up, find your vertical. Bring your hands to your hips. Pivot the back heel and straighten the front leg for pyramid. Lead with the heart and begin to hinge your torso forward. You may have to shorten your stance a little bit. Then you're welcome to bring the hands to the blocks or towards the earth. Inhale the heart forward. Exhale, allow the body just to fold over that front leg. The right hip is drawing back slightly, the left hip gently pressing forward. Pause and be here. Couple of breaths. Nice. Inhale your body back to that flat back position. Remove the blocks, hands towards the mat. And we'll step here into lunge and plank. From your plank, drop the knees and rotate to your right hip. So I'm on my right, you might be on your left. That's fine. Bring it down to your forearm here for a little side plank. Driving through that forearm, lifting through the side body, and you have the option of just working the lift of that underside. That's fine. Lifting, feeling the belt tighten a bit through the center. You can add to that the lift and the lift of the hips. So here we go, back into that lateral hip strength again. Inhale, lower down. 2 more times. Exhale, find that picking up. Inhale, down. Last time here, find that lift. Extend the top leg. Reach your top arm forward. And then reach it overhead. Create a long line from your fingertips to your toes. Breathing, holding here for 3. And 2. And 1. Rest the hips back down. Meet me on your stomach. So we'll roll to our chest for a little swimming action, cross crawl. So legs are long, arms are reaching front corners of the mat. Lift one arm, opposite leg. Lower it down. Continue that. Focus on those key points of the pelvis again. So we're not arching through the back to lift the leg. We're still constantly rotating pubic bone towards the mat. And alternate. And let's speed it up a little bit for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And rest it back down. Hands under shoulders, knees under the hips. Press yourself up to 4 point and press back to down dog. Head low, hips high. Regrouping, recentering. Preparing for that opposite side. Lift the heels and bend the knees. Look forward. You can take a giant step forward or little mini steps. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. From the ground up, inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. Great. I'm going to change to the opposite edge of the mat here as we work the opposite side. Inhale the arms. As you exhale, bend the knees. Find that forward fold. Take your hands to your blocks. Right leg this time steps back into lunge. Have your feet far enough apart that you feel balanced. Inhale, sweep the arms up into your high lunge. We'll add that torso hinge. Inhale, hinge forward. And exhale, lift up for 3. Inhale, hinge forward. And exhale, lift for 2. Inhale and hinge, long diagonal. Exhale and lift for 1. Okay, pause and be here. Shoulders down the back. Body strong and lifted. Hands can move to your hips. Pivot that back heel so that we end up in our pyramid foot position, straighten front leg. You might find you need to inch that back foot in slightly. Okay. Feel your chest square to the wall and take that staying flat back hinge forward. Hands can move to the blocks or towards the ground. As you exhale, let the head reach towards your toes. Pause, breathe, be here. Feel the energy. So it's not a passive stretch. There's still this element of lift, of reaching, of connection, of contraction. One more nice breath here. Inhale, find that flat back again. Bring the hands down to the mat, bend into your front knee. Take a little lunge and transition to plank. Okay. Feel strong in that plank. Drop the knees and pivot onto now what is my left hip, perhaps your right hip. So knees can stay bent here for this first round of side planks. Move down to your forearm. Make a fist with that front hand. And then take a couple of gliding actions here. As I exhale, pulling the side bodies together, a little bit of abdominal bracing, I can add to that the lifting of the hips, still keeping these bent. I lifted them up a little higher than needed there. Inhale, lower the hips. Exhale, pick up the hips. Inhale to lower. Exhale, lift. Hold the lifting. Take the top arm. Let's reach it out in front. Begin to reach it overhead. Your top leg lengthens out. Here again, that same beautiful length from your wrist through your ankle. We found it earlier in our warm-up on our back. Now experiencing it with a little bit more of a dynamic challenge. Good. And then replace that leg in. Allow the hips to rest, maybe on your belly. One more set of our swimming, of our prone extension. So arms reach to the front corners of the mat. Legs can be to the opposite. And find that alternating arm to leg lift. This is a great exercise for nearly everybody. Feel a slight lifting of the chest. And if you like, you can add to that and make it a little bit more dynamic here for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest it back down. Bring the hands under your shoulders, come up onto those knees, meet me back in down dog, curl the toes under, head low, hips high. Breathing here, regrouping for our second set of standing series. Lift those heels, bend the knees, look forward. Your choice how you get to the front edge of the mat. Meet me there with an inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Through the strength of those legs, find your way again to chair. Okay, so my legs are about hip width apart, okay, a little bit wider than sometimes that we use for chair. Drawing the shoulders down the back. Bring the arms out to your sides. I'm going to take eagle arms here. So that left arm is going to go underneath the right. And they wrap around in order to create this energy of protraction through the shoulder blades, elbows reaching forward. If this is a little too much for you, just cross your hands through your shoulders. That's another really nice stretch. A great place to go here. Good. Then release the arms. Find your way into that forward fold. Blocks might be handy here. I'm going to go back to my other side. Step back with your left leg. This time we're stepping back into warrior one. You're going to pivot back on your heel. Arms lift up, and we have a heel to heel alignment. So if you need to, look down and see if you drew a straight line from your heel, front heel to back heel, would they connect? Pause here in that warrior one. Let's go back to the hinge, those hinge efforts, those hinge movements of inhaling, reaching forward. Keep that front knee bent. Exhale, lift it up for 3. Inhale, reaching forward. And exhale, bring it up for 2. One more time, inhale, reaching forward. And exhale, lift it up. Pause here in that warrior one. Bring the hands to your hips, straighten that front leg like we did earlier. Find another pyramid pose here. Start to draw the right hip back as you pull the heart forward. Hands can move to the block or towards the ground. Exhale, take a nice forward fold here. Good. Inhale, lift the heart up. Pivot that back leg around. Find your plank again. Right foot drops back into the plank. Bend the knees. Kickstand your right knee out to the side. And now we're moving to the second level of side planks. Top arm starts to reach. It can reach overhead. Top leg extends in opposition, creating a lot of length here. Keep working the up of that extended leg. Also think of reaching through it. Often we put too much weight over the arm when you could actually reach through that bottom leg and better center your pelvis over your knee. Good. And then bring that back in. Now, we'll do it one more time. You can stay there if you want a little greater challenge. Press through that bottom foot, or top foot rather, bring the bottom leg underneath it, and find that plank again. I'm staggered in my stance. More challenging is to bring that top foot over, reach through, maybe a leg lift. Good. And then rest back down. Just rest onto that hip. Let's take a nice little lateral side stretch here just because it seems to fit and it feels good after that work. Good, one more time. Inhale, bring yourself up. Turn that palm up. Exhale, side stretch over. Nice. And then coming back around, find your 4-point again. So pivot onto the hands and the knees. Move into your plank. Take a little vinyasa here. So if you like, drop the knees, lower down to your chest. Pick up into your up dog. Lower down, curl those toes under, press back into your down dog. Be here. Lift the heels, bend the knees, look forward. Step into the front edge of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Strength of the legs brings you up, swooping the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. All right, one more round of our chair. It will take us to the opposite side. So about hip width apart, toes are forward. Sink your hips back. Find that subtle arch of the low back, lift of the belly. And then inhale the arms out to your sides. Okay, right? Make sure those knees aren't going knock-kneed. Use that outer hip strength. This time, right arm goes under the left. Reaching the elbows forward. If that's not comfortable for you, take a little hug of the hands to the shoulders. Unwind the arms. Find that forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Right leg will step back into your warrior one. Heel to heel. Sweep the arms up. Trying to square off the chest. And here's our hip hinges. Inhale it forward. Exhale, lift up for 3. Inhale forward. Exhale, lift up for 2. Inhale forward. Exhale, lift up for 1. Pause there. Appreciate the shape. Feel your strength. Find your breath. Hands to the hips. Straighten the front leg. You may need to heel toe that back foot in a little bit. Heel slightly out, toe slightly in. Body is square for pyramid. So we hinge at the hips, and there's this constant little internal dynamic adjustment of the left hip pulling back, right hip forward, that then will bring your hands towards the blocks, or perhaps to the ground. Find what works for your body. I should say, always, skip over what doesn't work for you. Find a modification. Never force yourself. Pain should not be part of the practice. Might feel challenged, but shouldn't be painful. Make those adjustments. It's your body. You're your own best teacher. Head should be heavy here. Nice. Inhale back up. Hands will find plant to the mat. The front foot steps back. Adjust those feet into your plank shape. Check in with the levelness of the hips. Drop to the knees. And this time, the left knee will kickstand out. This will enable us into a position where your wrists and your knee are nearly in a straight line, and you find your way towards a pseudo side plank. Top arm can lift up. It can reach overhead. Top leg can lift. Keep reaching through that extended leg so you don't go too far over the hand, but instead you shift the center of the pelvis to more over the knee. Breathing there. Emphasizing the lifting. Gravity's going to want that leg to drop. You've got to keep the energy lifting. So true as life. Keep your energy lifting and upbeat when you can. Bring that leg back down. Bring the arm back down so you can keep it there for your second set, or else find your way to either a staggered plank, or maybe work on both feet stacked for that side plank. Can you pick yourself up from here, holding 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. Return the arm, bend the knees, lower the hips, and let's take that nice side stretch again. A little Pilates fusion with our mermaid. Draw the belly back, arm comes up, take a nice side bend over. Inhale up. One more time, side bend it over. And return. Good. Moving on to hands and knees. Okay, we did our cross crawl on our belly. Let's find it here in our stability bird dog position. Right arm extends, left leg reaches. Reach through the heel, square up the hips. Breathe. Bring that arm and leg back in. Opposite side, extend and reach through the heel. Square off the hips. Good, let's go 4 more times here. Your pace, your breath, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Here's 2 and 2. Reach 1 and 1. Good, rest it back in. Bring your feet together, knees apart. Take a little stretch back. Find a child's pose here. Allow that low back to relax. Bring yourself back up into 4-point. A little winding down motion. Take your right arm out to the right side. We'll find a lateral twist. Driving through the left arm, we can rotate the chest and then inhale back to the center. Exhale, press and drive, and inhale back to the center. One more time, and press and rotate, and then thread the needle. Take that arm underneath. Allow the ear to come down to the mat. Your top arm can stay where you have it. It could reach out in front. You could clasp your hands and create a little driving force for a stretch through the shoulder blades. Good. Now your top left arm is going to drive yourself back up. We'll reposition in that 4-point, left arm out to the side. Inhale, find your rotation. And exhale to center. Inhale to rotate. And exhale through the center. One more time. Inhale. Here we'll thread the needle under. Ear comes down to the earth. Top arm can reach away. Breathe in here. Great. And then your top arm helps position your body back into that 4-point. Curl the toes under, lift the hips up. Take a little one last down dog here. Walk the dog, alternating knee bend. Good. Lift the heels, bend the knees. Walk your legs forward here, and then just take a seat onto your bottom. Find a tall, lifted, seated position. And as you exhale, slowly start to roll yourself back down to the mat, bit by bit, returning to where we started, with the arms reaching out, legs reaching long. Draw those knees into the chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. Draw the nose up to meet the knees. Head and shoulders can rest back. Extend the arms out to your sides. We'll take a little deeper twist here. Inhale in the center. As you exhale, pick up that left hip in order to carry the hips and knees to the right. And if it's comfortable for you, just pause here in this deep twist. Otherwise, you could have a block under your knees or just work a little bit of side-to-side dynamic movement here. The gaze is towards the ceiling. The shoulders are open. It's that same lateral line that we worked on our side plank, so just a different way to access it here with our twist. Inhale back up to the center. Exhale, hips and knees go to the left. Allow that right shoulder to be open. Pause there, breathe there. You could even take your gaze more opposite the knees, or you can settle in the center. And then again, strength of the center brings you back up. Replace the feet, hands at your sides. Through the feet, start to drive and lift those hips up to your bridge. Shuffle your shoulder blades underneath. See if you can clasp your hands for a little deeper shoulder stretch here. Again, the chin slightly lifted. Feel your big toe joints. Sometimes we tend to roll off laterally, try to keep those big toe joints into the earth. Release your hands and roll your spine back down. One more time. Rolling that spine up, finding your way to your bridge. Scooting the shoulders underneath you a bit. Imagine that you had the yoga block squeezing between the knees a bit, hugging that midline. Release the arms, lower your hips back down to the mat. Draw the feet together and take a little butterfly. So allow the hips and knees to open. And then return the knees back into the center. At the beginning of class, we did an arch and a flatten of our back. As you do this, kind of sense that subtle arch of the back as we allow the knees to open. As you exhale and close the knees up, feel a little bit of that flattening action of the low back. 2 more times. Inhale, knees open. And exhale, they close. Last time here. Inhale, knees open. Subtle arch of that low back. And then exhale, knees draw back together. Good. Take any last movements that your body feels like it might need here. Otherwise, join me in Happy Baby. We'll draw the knees to the chest. Hands come near the outside edges of those feet. Find length through your tailbone here. It's tempting to really tuck and push in the low back, but try to relieve that lumbar region of stress and instead focus on getting the placement of your sacrum and tailbone more towards the earth. Pause here if you want a little bit of rolling side to side. That's fine. Good. And then release those feet. Bring them back down to the earth and let the legs just extend. So moving into our Shavasana, our rest position, it's a time of no longer doing, not action-oriented, but completely about rest and of being at rest. Allow the palms to open. Tune in again briefly here, just to that breath. Tune in more importantly even to your feelings and your emotions. Have they changed at all through the course of our practice? Can we use the practice of breath and movement, of awareness, to improve our feelings, to improve our outlook, to move us into a week feeling refreshed and optimistic? Please take your rest. always continue to rest here in your Shavasana, but otherwise roll yourself over and sit yourself up. Close your eyes. I hope physically you feel lifted, you feel strengthened, and even more importantly, emotionally, I hope your mental outlook feels lifted, centered, and strong. It's been a pleasure sharing this practice with you. I hope you'll join me again in the future. Hands to our heart. And the light in me honors the light in you. Thank you for being here today. Namaste.